back. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to the Extraordinary God, Ordinary People podcast. I hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving week with your family and friends celebrating. I know I have a lot to be thankful for, especially this man right here. For those of you who don't know, this is my amazing husband, Ike Everard, and he has agreed to come on the podcast. And what better week than Thanksgiving? Yeah. So let's get right into it. I always start this with an icebreaker question. My first one I did a bagel. The second one I did coffee shop. But I have to go back to the bagel question because you are the bagel connoisseur. What is your favorite bagel place here in Nashville?
Cream Hall Bagels.
Okay, elaborate though.
It's the best one. They just have the best bagels and the best... I don't know if they have the best cream cheese, but they have the best bagels for sure.
Okay.
And they have the best sandwiches.
What is your go-to order right now?
Right now, rosemary bagel.
Okay.
With the chive cream cheese.
Okay.
And onion, tomato, and arugula.
Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, it was good.
So you're going to plug them? Plug?
Yeah, well, I just did. I said they're good.
Just did.
That's the plug.
Well, to kind of give a little bit of backstory again on this podcast, I really did feel like the Lord wanted me to be able to tell other people's stories and give them a platform to be able to tell their testimonies. And as you guys have seen from our past guests, just how the Lord has worked endlessly through every story, through every trial, through every triumph, every tribulation. No better way to start off Thanksgiving than with family, than with interviewing you. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and just how you grew up, and we'll start with that.
Well, it's weird telling you about my childhood because you already know.
But the people don't.
The people don't. I grew up in Seattle.
Okay.
I grew up playing baseball and going to school. I have a brother.
Okay.
I mean, pretty normal childhood, I would say. I don't think, there wasn't, trauma.
Okay.
I don't know. It's pretty good childhood. Playing baseball, going to school, watching sports, going to Mariners games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there a point in your life, I know the story, but I want the viewers to kind of get the full picture of it. Your childhood was great. Your family was great. Your brother's fantastic. Your parents are fantastic. I love your family so much. I'm so glad I'm a part of it. But was there a point in your life that things kind of shifted faith-wise? Or how did you grow up faith-wise in the church or in other ways?
Well, I grew up Jewish.
Okay.
And I grew up not super involved in, that's I would go to it, but I would always dread going to Tuesday school or going to Shabbat or going to synagogue, and just going to all those things always kind of just felt like a chore. I didn't really want to go, just because I was a kid. I wanted to be hanging out with my friends and whatever, or at baseball practice instead of reading the Torah. But we so I would go to those things, and I got bar mitzvahed. And I learned some Hebrew through that.
Okay.
But obviously I grew up with the Old Testament and with the Torah and with kind of doing that stuff. And we'd do fun stuff too. We would do some walks and some community service and different community things like that. But I didn't probably appreciate it a ton in terms of spirituality.
Yeah.
Just because it was a chore almost.
That's fair.
So I definitely grew up believing in God, but just not in a way that was I didn't see I believed in God, but I didn't see the importance of worship or really being involved with a synagogue or a church community.
Was there a turning point that kind of hit you, or kind of what was your journey from that point in your childhood to where you are now?
I think the turning point was when a really cute girl in college took me to church. And
this is, I'm claimer. If you really like a guy and he's not a Christian, don't try and change him. Do not take advice from this story, but it worked for us. Continue.
I think going to church with you opened my eyes to kind of the relatability of Jesus.
Yeah.
And like the stories in the New Testament and the way that you know differs from the Old Testament. Like in my mind, like it's more relatable, and I felt like it was more you know, more understandable. It was kind of more like I could be active in the church in a way that I hadn't been in the synagogue.
Yeah.
Part of it was like the language barrier, because like going to synagogue is a lot of Hebrew, and a lot of like you have to read the Hebrew prayer, and then you know there's English there. But it was, especially when I was in middle school and things, like I didn't have the attention span to like look at that and do all that.
Learn Hebrew?
You know,
12-year-old you wasn't learning Hebrew in their bedroom?
So it was like, it was this moment of like, oh wow, like, you know, God is very accessible. And you know, that's a theme in the New Testament too, as you look at accessibility of God and the way that, you know, Jesus opened doors for people to be able to interact with God versus how, you know, it was going into the prayer tents and very God-fearing. Not that, you know, God-fearing is bad, obviously, but like almost to the point where, you know, the priests and held so much power because they were the only ones who could commune with God. And then, you know, you could pray, but it was, I don't know. So it was just a very like accessible feeling, and like it opened a door of like, oh, like this is, you know, this is a more approachable way, you know, like there's avenues to approach God. You know, you don't have to be scared to say God's name.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's different ways to pray and just like different ways to worship. So it kind of opened my eyes to that. And like it felt like a more welcoming community. And I was also just at a point in my life where it was more important to have that faith in community versus when, you know, you're going to middle school every day.
That's fair. So, at church, was it scary? Would you say it was scary coming to a church that wasn't a synagogue? Because like I haven't told my story yet, but I was not raised Jewish. I was raised, as we know, baptized at 10 months old, confirmed in the church at 14, like I said, the first podcast. But someone like yourself coming into a new community and a new environment, how was that for you?
I think the faith part wasn't scary, like going in there, like, I mean, like I knew God, like I believed in God, like it wasn't like a shock in that way. But the people, I mean, definitely the people aspect for me is always a challenge because I'm more introverted.
Oh, we know.
And so that, you know, going into a place where I felt like a outsider more, and like meeting 100 new people at once, you know, because I met all the people that you know there, and then like people are just very friendly in a lot of spiritual environments. So it's like a lot of outgoing people, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't, you know, still settling in. So that was the scary part. It was like settling into that environment and kind of understanding some of the rituals and customs and like, you know, how to act in certain times, because I didn't know that, and not wanting to like stick out.
What do you mean? Don't ask out the girl next to you during...
No, that's a great idea, actually. Everyone should do that. I would recommend it. Look at now.
Little backstory. Our church back in Phoenix, where he started coming to church with myself, we had this like reflection time, and there was one reflection time. I think it was like the second time that you came to church with us. No, you had already accepted Jesus into your heart. So this was a little bit later. And I, you know, and sometimes in your soul and your spirit, you just know something's going to happen. I knew he was going to ask me out. And I haven't dove into what I've dealt with anxiety and depression wise, but your girl is a very scared person sometimes. And so I was looking for my best friend Elise at the time to have a conversation with her, because I knew that he was going to try and ask me out, and I was going to try and avoid it at all costs, while everyone's like on their knees praying to Jesus, and I'm like literally trying to avoid this man during reflection time. And she went to the bathroom. The one time that she went to the bathroom during church, and I was like, God, this is a God thing, because there is no other way that my best friend, if you know Elise, and she'll be on one of the later episodes with her husband Patrick, she never left. And the one time I needed her to be a buffer, she wasn't there.
Are you glad she wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I know that you started coming to church and life group with myself. Yeah. But after that, and that was kind of towards the end of your college, like, was there a change in your heart? Do you, like, where did you go on your faith journey from there, would you say?
I think it was just building more of a connection with God and, like, you know, learning more how to pray and learning just how he moves in all of our lives and seeing that really take effect and just learning to trust him.
Yeah.
And learning just to kind of, you know, give your life to that and know that, like, you're going to be taken care of, and you have to act, you know, in the actions that are presented to you. You have to walk through the doors that open for you, but, like, trusting that those doors are going to be there, and that if you live your purpose and that you work every day to be, why are you crying?
I guess it's just,
you work every day to just be an agent of the Lord, and you live, you know, according to the ways that he has set for us. Be a good person, live with love in your heart, you know, love your neighbors, just, you know, treat everybody with respect and love, and, you know, call them to what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Then doors will open for you. And it's like, I think that was the biggest thing, was just, like, really, like, taking that to heart and understanding, like, okay, like, you know, this is real. This is, like, having an impact in my life and then the lives of people around me through that.
Yeah. Have you seen it impact people around you?
100%. I mean, I think I've seen it impact everyone around me.
Really?
I've seen it impact myself. Like, just, yeah, I mean, just trying to live with care and intentionality and purpose.
Can you give some examples on how that...
Well, I think, like...
that you've just seen God actively work in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can, like, look at anything. Like, moving to Nashville was, like, a big leap of faith. Like,
yeah,
move here with no job, no connections. Really, just me and Jerry. It was only me and Jerry. And,
Jerry Walker.
And, you know, you were in Charlotte, which was awesome because you were close, but you weren't in Nashville.
And we had just started dating. Yeah. To, like, preface, like, we were not even a month into dating.
No, and so I think, like, that was obviously a huge leap of faith, but just, I was not scared to do it. Like,
yeah,
just moving here, I was like, I'm just going to meet people. I'm going to go network, shoot stuff, whatever. And, you know, I knew that, you know, it would work out and the opportunities would present themselves and I would move through that phase and connect with people. And I still am doing that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest example to this point in my life of, like, here's just stepping out on faith and just trusting that it's going to be good and it's going to be where I need to be.
Yeah.
So that was a big one. You know, I think marrying you is a big one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was something that, you know, I prayed for a lot. And that...
You prayed for us?
Yeah, of course. And, like, that I always wanted. What is this?
It's okay. My computer's acting up.
That was something that, like, you know, I had always prayed for and just wanted and worked towards.
I knew you wanted me for a while.
And, you know, so...
I didn't know you prayed to marry me.
Of course. And so that was, like, a big, you know, testament as well, because that's... Now we're here. And you moving to Nashville.
I'm going to start crying, but to give a little backstory, too, like, he pursued me for how long?
A long time. Too long.
5 years.
Maybe longer.
5 years, guys. 5 years.
Maybe longer. Never give up.
Never give up. It works out, hopefully.
But, yeah, I mean, so that was a huge testament. And, you know, just seeing the effects that living with care and with purpose have on people, like, people see that and feed off of it, and people get inspired. And
do they know it's Jesus?
I mean, I think they do. But even if they don't, it's still him, you know, moving through and working in their lives. And they see, you know, I think they can sense warmth and light and structure and purpose and just, like, energy that, you know, is godly energy. And it's hopefully moving them to where they're called to be.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if they are where they're called to be, it's encouraging them and it's inspiring them, and just, you know, every day, even if you're where you're called to be, everybody needs a light and everybody needs that kind of burst of godly inspiration.
Yeah.
And so just bringing that to people and showing up with a smile and with care and purpose and just an open heart is like so critical.
Yeah. I think that that's something that you do so well, is just people gravitate towards you. Like, there's a love in this community here in Nashville that I've seen blossom because of you coming into that. And people can say it's other things, but everything that you touch is with intentionality and with purpose. And I think that that's something that is so beautiful that maybe back in college you didn't learn. But as you've grown with the Lord, I think that's something that he's planted on your heart, is be able to do that. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You are a light to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I try. But, you know, even if that intentionality, it's like, even when we were in Aruba, like, I was, like, praying and I was, like, resetting, like, what, you know, is different when we get back. And it's just, like, don't do anything halfway.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think a lot of that is, like, what's for my work, because I was at a point where I was, like, I don't, like, want to do these, like, halfway shoots, like, just to get it done.
I remember you telling me
like,
that.
You know, I want to, like, when I go back to work after this amazing vacation that we were on, like, I want to
he was thinking about work.
No, but, like, sometimes when you detach, you know, you gain new perspective, and, like, God speaks to you through that. And so it was like, when I come back, I don't want to, you know, do anything halfway. Like,
yeah,
I want to do everything with full intentionality, and I want to do everything to the best of the abilities that I've been blessed with. And that translates to marriage as well. It translates to friendships. It translates to life. And so that was, like, a powerful message, I think, that has been really important.
What is one thing you've learned in marriage that God has used?
That toilet seats belong down.
How has God used that?
Well, it's an important message because, you know, for all the men out there, if you don't leave the toilet seat down, you're going to get in trouble. But
he still doesn't sometimes.
You know, someone needed to hear that. Someone needed to hear that.
And he still doesn't sometimes.
She says I needed to hear that. But
yeah, he's relaying that back to himself.
One thing I've learned in marriage, though, like that's more above that, I guess, is just the I think it's just the beauty of selflessness, and, like, how much more gratifying it is to be part of a unit than to be alone.
Really?
And even, like, when we were engaged, like, it was still, you know, we were living apart, and, like, we had our separate lives, and we would see each other pretty often, but, you know, it wasn't, like, all the time. We didn't share space. But living with you and being married to you has, like, shown me just how important it is to do things as a unit, and how much more you can gain from that, because not only do you get two perspectives, you know, but you get two relationships with God. You get two sets of hands. You get, you know, two minds, two hearts, and it's just so much more of a life experience, I feel like, you know, when you can share it with someone that you love. But being selfless is a big part of that, because if you're selfish in it, then you're not really sharing it.
Yeah. So
it's, you know, giving half of yourself, giving all of yourself, giving half of, you know, your life, I guess, if you're splitting it 50-50. I don't know how this metaphor works.
Well, we became one.
But yeah, but it's giving all of yourself to someone. You know, it's giving all trust, giving your heart, giving everything that you have to someone, and it's gratifying when you have the right person. It's special.
Oh, it's kind of like when Jesus loves the church. Like, he gave himself completely up for us on the cross.
Yeah.
And was completely selfless in that moment.
Yeah. And so, like, even with this, like, I want your dreams to come true, and I want your visions to come to life, and I want to support you in that.
We learned my name means dream too yesterday.
Yeah. We also learned you're supposed to be prophetic.
Yeah,
So.
that I don't know. I don't know about that one, but you
Well,
never know. God can work
see.
through me.
You gotta wait and see. But you know, like, so it's like even sacrifices to make that happen because like I know it's what you're called to do, and like this is amazing.
Thank you.
And just I'm proud of you, and so seeing that is like it's really cool.
Thank you. How would you say God is working through you right now?
I think.
Yeah.
I think through being able to approach everybody with purpose, with kindness.
Yeah.
And being able to be a positive force in people's lives. You know, I think it's putting me in places where I can have that impact, not necessarily in places where I would be preaching to the choir or where I would be surrounded by, you know, believers because I'm always surrounded by God. I feel like, you know,
yeah,
I'm always surrounded by that armor and that presence, but it's sometimes putting me in places where other people need that. And so being able to be a soldier and go in there and just be present in those situations is so important.
Yeah.
Being able to bring light to dark places. And I think that
that's what he is.
Yeah, and so I think that, like, you know, my career lets me do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And it also brings me into some really amazing light places and some people who really are strong in their faith and who really, you know, live life with purpose and with intent and who really care about the actions that they do. Like, it's put me in a lot of rooms like that as well. And those are always obviously uplifting and gratifying, and I can draw strength from that because, you know, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I know everything. So that's important as well, to have learning opportunities and to be surrounded by people who can lift me up and feed into me.
Yeah.
Which I also feel like every time I come home, I get that, which is amazing.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
He's not lying, I guess, on this podcast. Good.
But, you know, so I think it's like using me through that and putting me in those places, and also just letting me be a vessel for people to tell their stories, and using, you know, right now it's a camera to let people tell their stories and build their platform and get to the point where they need to be to inspire others, you know, and live out their purpose. That's kind of where I feel like I'm at right now, is just I want to help people reach their calling and live out their purpose and do it.
You're definitely doing it with me.
And, you know, integrity and kindness and intentionality.
And Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you always say Jesus is all those things.
He is all those things.
He is. I think that your story is so different from anyone else that I've had on this podcast, but I think that it's really truly needed at the end of the day, because everyone isn't just raised in the church. People come to Jesus at any point in their life, and that it's never too late to give their life to Jesus. You're never too far gone to give your life to Jesus and come back. You're never too far for any of that. And I think that you're never too far along in your life to be able to make that decision to follow the Lord and see it progress and change your life like you have. Yeah. Is there something that you would say to people out there who may not know the Lord or may kind of be like how you grew up in a different, I guess, sector, not of Christianity, but of knowing the Lord and God, but not really understanding it, and then coming to know Jesus as well? What would you say to those people?
I would say that it's important to surround yourself with the right people, and that there is a lot of people who use Jesus and use Christianity as a means of control.
Yeah.
But it's not that. And if you take the time to find it through the right avenues, and if you really seek out God and seek out Jesus, then those values will be evident in your life. Like, it's not something where you have to go through all these steps and hoops and rituals you know, you can pick up the Bible right now, or you can pray right now, and you can feel that presence. And you can build on that through going to church, through finding community, you know, through getting baptized, through doing all sorts of things.
Which we all encourage you to do.
Yeah, but you don't, like, it's not an exclusive love. It's not an exclusive, like, way of life. You know, it's not like a cult that you have to, like, join. So I think, like, a lot of people are like, oh, like, then I can't have fun anymore. Or, oh, I can't, you know, I don't want my life to be controlled.
Yeah.
It's not that, though. You can still have fun. Like, you can still live your life. Like, you're just going to be inspired to do it with kindness in your heart and with an intentionality around your actions. And you're going to find purpose, and you're going to find calling that leads you to more, you know, more engaging experiences and lets you connect with your life deeper. And you're going to have more fun because you're going to feel more present in the moments that you're living. And you're going to feel like you're accomplishing something greater. And that's going to bring you more joy.
What do you feel like you're accomplishing?
I feel like I'm accomplishing... That's a hard question to ask.
Well, you said you're accomplishing something greater. You just can, like, for the kingdom?
Like, you feel like you're working as part of... Like, you know, I talked about marriage as a unit and sharing it. You feel like you're working as part of a unit that's greater than, you know, what you can even imagine.
Well, you are.
Yeah, you are. But, like, so, and you feel that, like, you see those pathways opening up, and you see things happening in your life, and it's also more gratifying because rather than just sitting there and being like, dang, like, did I really deserve that lucky thing to happen to me? Do I deserve this opportunity at work? Do I deserve this group of friends? Do I deserve whatever? Instead of questioning that, you just sit there and you know that it's a blessing, and it's there for you to step into. And so you're not questioning if you earned that promotion. You're accepting it as a blessing from God, and that it's part of your purpose. And so you step through that door boldly, and you're able to really embrace the opportunities that are put in front of you.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a, you know, it's a connection to life in a way that you wouldn't have if you don't know God and you don't know Jesus.
It is truly powerful. I feel like you said, that there is a deeper meaning to life once you already accept Jesus into your heart. Mm-hmm. And you don't know that feeling until you experience that. And yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. And what do I feel like I'm accomplishing? I think right now, I'm accomplishing letting people tell their stories. I think I'm accomplishing giving people an opportunity to be inspired in their own careers and inspire others.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that I'm accomplishing giving artists who need to build their platforms a chance to do that for, you know, hopefully not a prohibitive amount of money. Yeah, so I think I'm accomplishing that because I have these blessings and talents that I've been blessed with, and sharing them with the community in Nashville is like, that's what I hope that I'm accomplishing.
I love that. My last question is that what is the coolest thing God has done in your life?
Probably, well, marrying you. That's pretty cool. And also just, I think, moving to Nashville and just what I've been able to experience here has been beyond what I could have possibly imagined of, you know, when I had the vision of, I want to move to Nashville.
Yeah. And
see what happens. Like, what has happened since I've gotten here has been so just unbelievably incredible beyond what I imagined. That, I mean, it's a pretty, like, that's pretty much what, you know, it's hard to beat that.
It's pretty much God. Only God can have done any of that.
100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on to my podcast.
Of course.
I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Oh, wait, you're going to go make us dinner after this. Yay. And this was filmed way before Thanksgiving week. So, as you can see, Mariner's hat on.
Yep.
going into Game 7 of the ALCS.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Like, do we think that this is going to happen?
I don't know.
I hope so.
The Mariners will either have played in the World Series or they won't.
Stay tuned.
But the Dodgers will have. We know that.
The Dodgers will have. If you guys didn't know, I am a born and raised LA Dodger fan, thanks to my father. Shout out Marvin.
Bandwagon.
No. My dad had a dog named Dodger, and he went to go see them at spring training all the time. And so it's kind of hard to like argue when there was a little picture of me in a onesie with a Dodger hat on. Very hard to argue with that. Okay. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thanksgiving week with just family, friends. Take time, pray to the Lord, understand that you are so blessed in this life. Again, if you want your story on this podcast, we would love to have you on. So you can either email, which is going to be in the actual bio of this podcast, Instagram, or DM on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can even comment on YouTube. I would love to be able to tell your story and just have your testimony out there. And stay tuned for a little bit later in this week. I have a special thing that was placed on my heart today that I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to share on my Instagram story and on Facebook to be able to give back to the community here in Nashville. So stay tuned for that. But thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.